Yes, sir. We live. What up? What is the good word? This is Coach H. Of course, you know it's Real Talk Sports. It's been a little bit of a minute. Just back, excited, renewed energy, and just really want to get this thing going here. We are on day two of the NFL draft, rounds two and three, and what a draft it's been, man. I gotta be honest. I feel like, without bias, that my Philadelphia Eagles have the best draft so far. When you take a look at what they were able to do with their picks, maneuvering, the moving up the board, and just staying pat, staying true to a recommitted way to approach going out to get talent. The knock on Howie Roseman has always been not being able to hit on the first pick, not being able to get the guy that you take a look at it, you just use your eyes, you watch the tape, you watch the games, and you see who these guys are, and not being able to go with the obvious choice wherever their picks fall, whether it be the first round, the second, third, fourth, fifth, all the way into the seventh. You seem to always be missing in the first round. So I got to give credit where credit is due. Howie Roseman has been a czar when it comes to that. Excuse me. Um, and again, this whole renewed approach that the front office has taken ever since that Jalen Rager pick, which we all Eagles fans know was so infamous. Maybe all 3 years ago. And you take a look at it now and how far he has come in terms of just going out and getting talent. Just look alone in the last 2 years, what he's been able to do, Harry Roseman, with the picks available at his disposal in the first round. You make the big trade, you go ahead and you get Jordan Davis, and automatically cog up the middle in the gaps, whether it be in the A or the B, or just being a stout rush defender. You really love his potential, his ceiling, um, what he can do in the trenches, in a rotation with the likes of Fletcher Cox. You add in Jalen Carter this year, who we'll touch on very, very soon. It's a beautiful thing. Nolan Smith again, great value at the 30 pick. Just kind of stayed pat and watched the board fall into their favor, and they went ahead and got Nolan Smith. In the last 2 years, have added four Georgia Bulldogs. I feel like the Eagles, what they did, they just told their scouting department, "Look, guys, go out there, go out in Athens, Georgia, camp out. We're gonna pay you a beautiful suite at the Hyatt Hilton, one of those big name hotels. They get the scouting department guys up there. You guys just stay out there, man. When it's time to go check out their practices, go down there, sit on the beach chairs, and get up close in the side of the field, chop it up with Kirby Smart and the defensive staff, and just go out and get you some Georgia Bulldogs." And that's what the Eagles went ahead and did with Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, two pegged in starters, in my opinion, for this season. You go and you add Jalen Carter. Easily could have been a top three pick. Went at number 9 to Philadelphia, who ended up trading with the Chicago Bears, who had the ninth pick. Philly then gave their pick to Chicago, moved back. They gave the Chicago Bears their pick, number 10 overall in the first round, and went ahead and gave them a fourth round pick for next year's draft. So there was very little risk, but very high reward in getting Jalen Carter. And if you didn't see Michael Parsons yesterday on the Bleacher Report live stream when it came to the draft, and how disappointed, how sick to his stomach he was with us getting, um, with us going ahead and getting Jalen Carter, you would be a little bit remiss not to chuckle a little bit like I just did. So we're looking extremely well on the defensive side of the football, especially when you talk about shoring up the middle there with Fletcher Cox kind of, showing his age, and he'll be on the outs very, very soon. We don't know when, but he'll retire an Eagle. We know that for sure. Fletch has been instrumental to our defense over the years, and just being a perennial presence, an All Pro, for sure, Hall of Famer. He's got to be definitely up there with the interior run stuffers in terms of the history of the game, and how dominant those guys have been over an extended amount of time. And you got a guy like that teaching Jordan Davis And again, Jalen Carter falling at 9 could have been a easy top 3 pick, top 5 for sure, and falls into our laps at number 9. Didn't give up much to get him, and then we don't move from number 30. We could have easily traded that pick and probably got 2 picks in the second, if not this year, one this year, and then one next year. But we stayed pat, and we were able to get Nolan Smith. And this guy is no joke. I'm talking about, if you really watch Eagles football and you watch Hassan Reddick get after it, this guy can compare to a Hassan Reddick. Can you imagine the Eagles with 2 Hassan Reddicks in that defense? What we'll be able to do from a pass rush perspective? Oh my goodness, I don't even want to fathom it right now. I can't wait. I can't wait till we line up and take the field. I know these guys are going to be wanting to get after it and proving that last year was no fluke. Super Bowl, definitely, we left a lot to be desired on the field. But it is what it is. That's come and gone. We're now focused on 2023, 2024 season. And it's just been beautiful to watch, man. The Eagles. And then today, they go ahead, trade out of the second round with the number 30 pick in the second round, and then get the first 2 picks in the third round, get a quality offensive lineman, which again is a Howie staple. Howie Roseman loves the trenches. We understand what that means there. It's really a mindset thing. It's a culture thing. And when you go and you start building a team from the inside out, it really shows you what you value in terms of success, longevity, being able to protect the quarterback, being able to run the football effectively with anyone, really. You just go ahead and get value at the position. It just permits you to do so much. We have Jeff Stoutland, arguably, if not the best offensive line coach in all of professional football, teaching these guys, quality offensive linemen, really how to just up their game that much more and bring it to a level where we can all look back and just be just so enamored, with the way these guys play. And, if you know anything about being a Philadelphia fan, you know it's a Philly thing. And I'm not just throwing those words out of there, right? So the defense's build right now is really reminiscent to, the mid 2000s when the Eagles had the likes of Brian Dawkins and Jeremiah Trotter, Alito Shepard, Sheldon Brown, and the names go on and on. Trent Cole coming in much later on, while that defense was so dominant. Fletcher Cox, another one coming in a lot later on. Now he's the veteran. He's the OG in the locker room, right? So the Eagles have always had dominant defenses. There were times too where we didn't have so dominant defenses, but the defense now, the way that it's being built, I could honestly say personally, this is the best that I've seen it since the mid 2000s. With all those names, those guys that I just named, being at the helm of all that success, I really feel like we're gonna have a very strong season again. A lot of people may say no. It's very hard for Super Bowl teams to appear in that game, loser or winner, it doesn't matter, and then repeat the success, get back to the Super Bowl, and be playing for the chip again. But the way the Chiefs are built, the way the Eagles are built, I believe they'll be up there in the top contenders. Look at last year. The Chiefs kind of started a bit uneven. They had a lot of personnel changes across the board. Tyreek Hill ultimately ending up in Miami. And then you go ahead and you replace him with a Juju Smith-Schuster and a Marquez Valdez-Scantling. You draft Sky Moore and not really putting the onus on him, to be exceptional right away and to just take in all the offense right away. You give him time to grow. You give him time to get familiar with the playbook, and you give the coaches a chance to, see you doing the work, putting in the time to getting better, and then adding you into the playbook, adding not just you, but the things that you bring to the table in terms of being an athlete, and revolve those playmaking abilities around what the offense does. A guy like Sky Moore easily gets a chance to transition in. So going back to the Eagles again, the team who lost in the Super Bowl had a lot of young guys, right? Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis. You look at the draft before, a guy like even a Zeke McPherson, someone who doesn't have to play right away, right? may have came in a little bit of as a project, but had just high measurables in terms of what his potential could be 2, 3 years down the line. Right now, contributing a lot on special teams, but I'm sure the Eagles see him either in the slot to one day replace Avante Maddox. If they don't go ahead and get a guy tonight, sorry, they can't get another guy tonight because they drafted their 2 picks in the third round. So maybe tomorrow they'll go ahead and continue to build around that position. But all it said is that when you have these guys, you have the quality of players that the Eagles went ahead and got, you really got to just be excited about what we can do, what we will do on the defensive side of football, and what we will do on the offensive side of football when it's all said and done. Now, going into round 3, like I said, the Eagles went ahead and drafted their guys, and they got very good quality players, especially with the first 2 picks that they got, number 65 and number 66, respectively. Tyler Steen, again, going to the University of Just Stoutland. So he's just going to be an absolute mauler, a dog, a guy that your team can lean on. He's a really, really big guy. We're talking about 6'6", 321 pounds, coming out of the SEC. Of course, Alabama being his school. And not such super, super high grade, but definitely a top 10 prospect. You can look at him, maybe the 8th or ninth best offensive tackle prospect in the draft. The Eagles will probably look at him to kind of kick inside, maybe have a replacement for Isaac Samuelo somewhere down the line here, or find a guy like that. Caleb Sturgis also can play guard. We've seen him come in sparingly, being able to do that a couple of times last year. And when Jason Kelsey is ready to hang him up, Caleb Sturgis will be the guy to slide right into his position and replace him. But getting Tyler Steen, I really feel like this is a great pick for us. A guy with tremendous upside, not a flash guy, someone who will jump out on you, but just a worker, man. A worker. Got that hard nose for football. It's going to be very important for them to really get a great look with him. Like I said, positional value, looking at a guy in the top 10. You can peg him anywhere between 8 and 10. I think any scout watching film would be very comfortable with that number. A guy that doesn't have to play right away. We already have a stout line. There is the need, like I mentioned earlier, for Isaac Samuelo to take over, hopefully sooner rather than later. If we don't need to play him outside, we got Lane Johnson and, of course, Jordan Mailata. No one's going to be complaining about either of those guys starting. So if Tyler Steen wants to see the field this year, he's really going to have to put the work in and hopefully hopes to play guard coming out of the tackle position. Again, 6'6", 321. Golly. And then you have Sidney Brown. Great pickup for us. I was hoping that we would get Brian Brand. She was drafted by the Detroit Lions. The Lions have done a great job in days 2 with their picks. I'm kind of a bit of a head scratcher in day 1, but we'll get back on that a little bit later. Sidney Brown and his brother have a amazing story that I was privileged to watch this morning on Good Morning Football. There was a special on them. If you have a chance to check it out, go on YouTube. Just peep those brothers, the Brown brothers from Illinois. Sidney, and I believe his brother's name is, pardon me, give me a second here. Great story. I just want to make sure I do justice. Excuse me. Sidney and Chase Brown, 2 brothers from Canada, in Ontario. They actually watched the draft from their home in Ontario, surrounded by family and friends and representatives, and it was really, really cool to see. They went through it coming up. Was able to go to the States, play at a school. Anyways, I don't want to spoil the story for y'all. You get a chance, go ahead and check out Sidney and Chase Brown's story. It's for sure online on YouTube, and you could also go on NFL Network or NFL.com and peep the piece, and they'll for sure amaze you with their story. We got a great leader in Chase Brown, a guy that really gets after it. What you want in Philadelphia, that Philadelphia mindset. Um, this is a great value pick for us because we had a need at safety. I know we signed Terrell Edmonds. I definitely love what Ruth Blankenship was able to bring to the table last season. Um, but I wanted to see what we were going to do in terms of depth. Brown gives you a guy that can be extremely versatile. He can play in the nickel. He's also a stalwart special teams player. A bit undersized to play full time at the strong safety position, but I really like his playability. His recognition, ball recognition, is off the charts. This is a guy that breaks on the ball, goes after it, makes contact to the body. These guys will definitely feel him in the NFC East once he gets going. I think he'll take a little bit to come up, but he's got great size. Um, a hell of a hitter. We are definitely in the top five in terms of position rank. We're talking about safeties overall. So super proud to see him on our team. A fellow Canuck, if you will. Great story, high leadership character, uh, and just in incredible skill set when it comes to the defense that Sean Desai, new defensive coordinator from Philadelphia Eagles, is going to employ. So definitely look out for them this season. Our top five picks again so far in the NFL draft. Top four picks because we had two in the third. But pardon me about that. Jalen Carter, our first pick overall, ninth overall. Number 30, of course, was Nolan Smith, pass rusher. Uh, Looking like a Hassan Reddick, type mold in terms of coming from the outside and playing on the outside linebacker on the perimeter, just really getting after the quarterback there. Tyler Steen, a tremendous combo offensive lineman, a tackle by trade, but a guy that can get kicked in inside and go after the guard position that Isaac Samuelo has vacated. And you also have to take a look at Sidney Brown, a guy that you have a lot of value, very young, but high character in terms of leadership skill, versatility, a special team maven, just making plays all over the field. Can't wait to see what they do with him. We got day 3 tomorrow is what's going to be rounds 4, 5, 6, and 7, just to sum up the draft and get everything out there. So again, Philadelphia, 4 picks, 2 in the first round, 2 in the third, early in the third, picks number 9, 30, 65, and 66. Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith from the University of Georgia, Tyler Steen from Alabama, and of course Sidney Brown from Illinois. Great pickups, great kids to come in and really help this team continue to build on what we started to build last year. And hopefully we'll be able to square away. Look for some more draft recaps. We got day 1 recaps tomorrow, very early. You can catch us live, 2 p.m. Real Talk Sports. Make sure you lock in. We're going to be recapping the first round. We're going to be recapping the second round, third round. Who I liked, who I didn't like. Big surprises, head scratchers, slip and slides in terms of prospects that were predicted to go very high, but ended up sliding for whatever reason. We'll take a look at that in depth and just come back tomorrow. Make sure that you lock in 2 p.m. Eastern time. Real Talk Sports Draft Recap NFL 2023 Draft Recap. It is hosted this year in Kansas City. I'm going to continue to dive in and watch these picks. So when I come back tomorrow, we'll have a lot to discuss and talk about. This is Coach H, also known as H the Man. Appreciate y'all for locking in and tuning in. Stay tuned, or we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.